over this week we'll be travelling to Manchester, York, Liverpool, Bath and London. It's going to be so many different places and I can't wait to show you all of them. I'm just in awe by the sheer scale of this abbey. Is this the best York?
Best pizza ever.
So exciting, there's so much hubbub all around.
Some rich man built this tunnel and God knows why he did that.
I know why the Stonehenge was built. It was built for modern day tourist monies. I love London. It's one of my favourite cities in the world.
Right now, we are at a train station waiting for Aaron's family who will be travelling with us across the next week.
Their train is a little bit delayed, but I think they're expected to be here in about 10 minutes. So after all the delays and after all the train rides, finally we are here and our first stop to get some food.
We are going to get some Sunday roast. Sunday roast is like a Thanksgiving dinner. And the reason why people eat it on Sundays is because they want to eat a big hearty meal after church service.
We are here.
This place is quite a find. They have earned a few culinary awards over the past decade. Considering that we have skipped breakfast, we ordered the main course for each of us, including the roasted half chicken, the roasted pork, beer battered haddock, herb lamb, and the corned beef hash.
The pudding is almost the size of my palm. The haddock fish is like the size of my forearm. The food and the portions are incredibly huge.
Oh, it's so fragrant. And now going for the lamb. It has been broiled for so long and now it's like really tender. Do you feel like this is the idea of a Sunday roast you had in mind?
Yeah, I think the gravy makes it a Sunday roast. They provided so much gravy, it's like filled to the brim.
The gravy sauce goes so well with the meat. I love it.
We are in the town of Altrincham.
After walking around for a bit, the market is finally open, so we're going to go in to check it out.
Here at Marks & Spencer's.
Back in Singapore, this departmental store is a little bit more high-end, but here it's more of an everyday brand.
In this Marks & Spencer's, there is 3 different stories.
There's the food, there's the home furnishing, there's the clothing, and then there's also a cafe right upstairs.
This Marks & Spencer has one of the largest selection of pre-packed foods. Supermarkets typically don't have as many pre-packed foods, and this Marks & Spencer has like rows after rows after rows of pre-packed food, all in like fridges like this.
Now we are about to head to the Manchester Art Gallery. It's free.
This gallery is super interesting because within each gallery space, the works are put together from different eras. When it's put together in different eras, it kind of talks to each other and creates a different discourse.
So this space has been intentionally left empty for black women's work. It represents the missing artwork from the black minority in the Manchester area, and also how women of colour across the world have been the least contributors to climate change, but they have been the most affected by climate change.
We are here at Piccadilly Gardens. There's so much hubbub, so much energy. People are just sitting around, picnicking, dancing, playing balls, having conversations. I love this. Just going to soak in the atmosphere, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Brimham Rocks is one of those places that is not known to most tourists when you visit the UK, but when you know about it, you realize that there's so much more to discover about this place.
Why are we seeing rocks?
For one, these rocks were formed even before the last ice age. For two, monks from Fountains Abbey, which we'll be visiting next, come here to graze their sheep and seek inspiration for their works.
Really like how they have very fancy names for all of these rocks here. For example, like this one, it's called the Blacksmith's Anvil. The one that looks like an hourglass shape right there, it's called Lover's Leap. This one here is called the Dancing Bear.
The names are interesting, but they were given by the park just to amuse the visitors like us, and we are amused.
The names are frequently changed quite often by the guides, and according to local historians, the reason is to keep up with the times. And yet, no matter how the names evolve, the mystique and timelessness of Brimham Rocks remained unchanged. Next up, Fountains Abbey.
Fountain Abbey is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You have to pay £19 to get in there, but I think it's going to be worth it. Just navigating the site using this map. Very comprehensive, I love it.
I actually had no idea what an abbey is until Aaron explained it to me.
They call it an abbey because it sounds nicer than calling it a monastery.
Fountains Abbey was founded by 13 rather disaffected monks who were finding a new monastic way of living. This abbey operated for over 400 years, becoming one of the wealthiest monasteries in England until its dissolution by Henry VIII in 1539. Now part of the Studley Royal Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Fountains Abbey is one of the largest and best preserved Cistercian monasteries in England.
Abbeys are typically places where monks and nuns stay in, and this is where they live probably for their entire lives. And sometimes they also welcome visitors who want to be on a spiritual journey.
At the peak of this monastic era, it's about 1,000 over people around this land itself. So it's quite impressive in the past to be self-sufficient for this amount of people.
Walking through the entire space, I was trying to imagine what they did in the past here. Were they praying? Were they living? I do not know.
Then there is the Studley Royal Park, known for its Georgian water gardens that lies a stone's throw away from Fountains Abbey. The vast expanse of the park is adorned with its elegant marble sculptures that truly shine in the summer sun. We spent about an hour walking around it, but it's so easy to get lost in the beauty of this garden.
Such a manicured garden. It is super pretty.
I'm enjoying this park. We paid £19 to get in. I thought it would be like just a small area, like just the abbey that we went past. But the £19 actually includes the garden and the park nearby. It's a nice place. We can spend the whole day here.
Text the British Transport Police on 61016.
York is a historic city in northern England, founded by the Romans in 71 AD. Our visit to York as a day trip was driven by the desire to see the medieval side of the city.
So our first stop of the day is the York Museum Gardens. If this abbey serves as the inspiration for the Fountain Abbey, then this abbey must have been built like way earlier than the Fountain Abbey. You can actually tell like some of the structures, the shapes look very, very similar.
York is also known for its medieval walls that encircle the old city. These walls were first built around 79 AD by the Romans and then reinforced multiple times across history.
On my left side is the wall, and on my right side there are railings. I don't think these railings were there in the past, so it was actually quite scary, like people could fall off anytime.
If you walk along the city wall, every single view is just perfect. Like for example, this hotel against the backdrop of York Minster, and then you look on the other side, it's just depressing because like it's all city life. The real world is just right out there. When we saw the York Minster from a little bit afar, it looks grand. But then when you're stepping underneath it, you can finally realize the scale of this minster. I wonder if like the people of New York know that like York actually exists, or is it like just a rebellion against like the old city of York, where people just want something new to it, like New Delhi and Delhi,
New Zealand,
and Zealand,
New Jersey,
and Jersey, Singapore, and Gapore.
Next up, we walk to this really narrow street that is linked with timber frame buildings dating back to the 14th century. Known as the Shambles, this is once home to multiple butcher shops, and we are here to catch a glimpse of this medieval charm.
Some of these buildings are not even aligned straight. Like, look at this. They use wood to connect two different floors of the building together. Like, that's insane to me.
Our last stop at York is getting dinner at Dode Eye. Let's just put this straight. We didn't even plan to visit Dode Eye, but after our first bite, this pizza shop instantly became one of my top 5 pizza shops in the world. It's just that good.
That was such a great meal and such a great way to end our time here in York. That was probably the best meal we've had so far in England.
I'm slowly falling in love with the historic city of York. Like, it's not a big city, it's not like London, it's not like Manchester, but like there is this really quaint feel about this place that makes me really want to dive in deeper. I think I have to be back here next time. We are here in Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp has already left this place. So what's there to do in Liverpool?
Why do I get butterflies every time I look into your eyes and I see you? Do you see me? Now my pulse is on the rise. I can feel the future crystallize 'cause I need you. You need me.
This one says happy 6 years. 14th August 2015. So they have known each other for... They have known each other for 15 years now. I wish them like a happy forever after. L and J.
Just looking around from this area at the dock, I can already see so many interestingly shaped buildings. You like it?
Oh, I love it. Like, it's very cooling and there's a very good summer vibe right now.
Why do I get butterflies? Why do I get butterflies every time I look into your eyes and I see you? Do you see me?
For lunch, we decided to get food at some of the most colourful street carts of Liverpool, outside of the Royal Albert Dock.
We're eating at the docks and hopefully the seagulls don't come and attack us. They're just flying all around us and circling us, and this is so far a good sign. We have been to multiple Gothic cathedrals in the world, and this is an example of a Gothic revival architecture.
This is the Liverpool Cathedral and it's the largest cathedral in Britain. Just from the colour and the material, you can really tell that it looks quite distinct and it looks very different from the other cathedrals we've seen so far.
It is actually modelled against a Gothic styled cathedral, just like the York Minster, which is also a Gothic cathedral, and that was built in the 13th and 14th century, and this one was built between 1904 and 1978. So it took over 70 years to build an impressive building like this. Shall we pop in and take a look?
Let's go.
We were so fortunate to be able to attend one of the evening choirs.
I think that was the longest I've ever spent in a church or a cathedral. There was just so much to see and so many different rooms to look around. Because everyone was so quiet and the choir was singing, I felt like if I sat on the chair wrongly, I would cause a loud creak and everyone would stare at me.
After a quick hearty Chinese dinner, we decided to go on a quick spin around the city.
Why do I get butterflies every time I look into your eyes and I see you? Do you see me? Now
Forget about the Beatles or the St. John's Beacon. Underneath Liverpool lies a secret network of tunnels that has fascinated me more than anything else about this city.
We are here at Williamson's Tunnel. They describe this as like one of the most interesting tunnels in the whole of Liverpool. I'm actually really excited to check out this tour.
No, I'm not talking about the rail tunnels or the vehicular tunnels. I'm talking about the underground tunnels that one merchant has built over 200 years ago.
This little area is ours. We actually own this. Actual excavations go approximately halfway across that car park and to that far wall.
This guy, his name is Joseph Williamson. There are theories that the tunnels were a way to smuggle contraband or as a hideout space for religious cults. However, its true purpose or even a fully mapped understanding of where these tunnels lead are still unknown.
And that is where you are now.
We joined the Friends of Williamson Tunnels non-profit to tour the tunnels. Room to room, artifacts from the 1800s are arranged neatly from the most recent excavation.
Baby's bottle, but they're known as murder bottles because you kill more babies with these than anything. Yeah, well, I think it's 1903 we started learning about microbes, and that probably wasn't clean, so you put some more milk into a already contaminated bottle.
But as the lights switched on at the lower floors, we could only truly realize the massive scale of his operations. And for over 160 years, no one really know about these tunnels, and that is because Williamson left little paper records of his build, and he would often order his workers to seal up previously dug tunnels to leave no trace behind.
Some rich men decided to dug up a tunnel and God knows what they are doing inside. It's crazy how big the tunnel is.
Good morning everyone, it's an early start to the day today. We just rented this car and we are going to do a day trip out of London to Stonehenge and Bath.
I really don't like London traffic. It's always a pain to drive through these streets. I want to get out of the city as quickly as possible. Maybe it would take an hour to get out. Hopefully not that long.
5 hours later.
We just went through the museum and also the exhibitions outside. They gave a brief history on how they think Stonehenge came about, but no one knows for sure and no one knows what Stonehenge was actually built for. It was built in the late Neolithic era, about 2500 BC. I know Stonehenge is one of the most, if not the most, iconic landmark of UK, but I did not expect this many visitors today.
It's not as big as I envisioned. I thought it would be way bigger. It feels like it is only the size of a basketball court.
Our experience at the Stonehenge was underwhelming. Like many who visited, we couldn't really justify the £30 we have to pay for this experience when there is a viewing area close enough without needing to pay. All you have to do is to drive to Stonehenge Public Pathway and view the Stonehenge from behind the fence. You can still get a decent view too.
By the time it was midday, there was just a lot of people coming here, and waiting for the bus and waiting in line was just making the entire experience not really worth it. I wouldn't come back here again.
Even though we left so early, we spent most of our time sitting in traffic. So we only saw Stonehenge, and now we're here at Bath and everything's closed.
This
This is my second time round in Bath, and the first time round I visited Bath with a friend, and honestly we didn't get to explore much of the city. There are places that we didn't really get to visit, and now I'm seeing Bath in a completely new light.
For example, this is Pulteney Bridge, one of 4 bridges in the world with shops on both sides of the bridge.
If you look at this view here, it doesn't look like there's a bridge at all. It's just 2 rows of shops on top of the bridge that makes it look like just a regular street.
We are heading to the circus and the Royal Crescent, which is the place where Aaron has been showing me pictures about.
Yeah, I've been getting Shah quite excited about these Georgian architecture even before the trip started. After all, they represent the epitome of Georgian architectural elegance.
It is actually one of the most pretty roundabouts in the whole of the UK, or even the whole of the world.
So I'm standing right here in the center of a circle, and this circle is made out of 3 sections of blocks. So there are 3 sections and 3 entrances to this place. Looks pretty cool.
These houses here, which is 3 stories tall, they are actually houses where people actually live in today.
Imagine living in such a beautiful place.
The only reason why I got to know about Bath and why I got to know about the Royal Circus and the Royal Crescent is really because of one of my professors who made a huge impression in one of the classes about Georgian architecture. Somehow, like, the class itself was really engaging. She described it really well. So during the first time I visited the UK, I made it a point to have to come to Bath to check out this beauty right in front of me.
It's our last day here in London and in the UK, so we're trying to make the most out of it by getting up early and trying to cycle around the city.
3 minutes walk away to the nearest bike. That's quite a distance away already.
Green, the color of true elation. Pine on a summer's day. See, I've been waiting for you, waiting for you. Green, the color of true elation. Pine on a summer's day. See, I've been waiting for you, waiting for you.
Of course, no first-time visit to London would be complete without a visit to the absolutely packed British Museum.
Let's go see what the British stole.
This museum boasts some of the world's most unparalleled collections of artifacts from all over the world, but many of them are stolen during the British colonial past, often under dubious circumstances.
I think for me there's some form of a value to be at museums because like we're literally traversing walls through the different rooms in this environment, but it doesn't really tell the full story, right? It tells like a part of the story, the highlights of a story. Of course, like a lot of these artifacts here are either robbed or commissioned or stolen or given or donated. We do not know for sure for all of them, and I think it's just interesting to see it all in one space, as if we are traveling through time, as if we are traveling through different countries and different regions.
It's a different form of learning. Usually we learn it from like the internet or books, but here you can see the actual artifacts and read the description from their perspective at least. I hope we don't get pimples.
The day we visited London coincided with the city's Pride Parade. We stood among a lively crowd, cheering as floats passed by with music echoing through the streets. The atmosphere was electric. It felt like we were part of something truly special. Our week in England felt like a whirlwind, racing through cities and landscape, each more breathtaking than the last. From the quiet majesty of the Fountains Abbey to the hospitality we received in London, we barely had enough time to catch our breath. But in the midst of all this craziness, we found moments that will stay with us forever. There's still so much left to explore, but the adventures will have to wait till the next time.